through on Instagram. Oh man, next, and I need to get the stream key. Copy the stream key. Let me edit this over here. Stream key, paste, save. And we're getting ready to bring the people in. While we're waiting for the people on YouTube, we have a few more seconds. I'll see when oh wait, I gotta put this here to see when the comments come up so that I shall know, but I can see on the side. All right, so welcome everyone. Welcome. So we're still just exclusively on on TikTok. I'm not feeling good about myself today because I spent a long time surfing the net in the morning, so long that it became afternoon, and then I didn't get my morning workout in. So I'm not happy about that. I feel kind of bummed about that. All right, Celestial switching over to YouTube, and YouTube is starting to come in now. Let's see what we have. All right. So we got OF, we got China. Brenda King is in the house. When you come in, come on in and shout out your city, country, state that you're representing. Today we're going to be talking about the trophy wife situation, and I want to show you all some things and talk about the one thing that's really kind of bothering me about the situation. So as soon as we go live on all of the platforms, we'll get into all of that. So we got Lizzie in the house, 5-star, Brenda, Black Dahlia. It's been a while, Black Dahlia. Welcome back. We got OF and China. We got paired together. Hey, oh, somebody says looking beautiful as always. Thank you. I just went to go put on a little bit of concealer, and then the next thing I know, my whole face is filled with makeup, and I put on a lot of makeup today. This is not the typical small amount of makeup that I put on, and I put blush going in like a Batman symbol across my face. I wanted to try that out. I think it lifts the front of the face, but you know, I already have really defined cheekbones. So we got East Orange, New Jersey in the house, Seattle, Washington. In Seattle, it's still pretty early in the day because they are on Pacific Standard Time. Is it cold? Is it cold in Seattle right now? Listen, when we get to the 30-minute mark, we're going to go live on all of the platforms. So we have just another minute to ourselves here before we go live. Oh, wow, we got Tacoma with the big lake out there where the truck was named after. Tacoma's in the hizzy. All right, welcome. I know we got Canada in the house. Canada runs deep. So does South Africa run deep on my platform. We just have 51 more seconds before we go live on all of the platforms. So get in your comments, shout out your city now, get some personalized attention now. I gave TikTok some personalized attention before I came over here. I've been here, Tonya. I just stay in the clouds. Love you bunches. Oh, Brenda's saying it's cold. You know, the cold hasn't really kicked off in New York yet. Like, it's still, like, fall is still hanging on for dear life. So I'm hoping that I'm hoping that after I get off of here, I can wash my face and then go work out. I bought this really nice scale that does the whole fat calibration with the hands, arms, legs, everything. Oh, here we go. We're at the 30-minute mark, so we're getting ready to go live on all platforms. So let's go ahead and let's get this party started. All right. We are live on Facebook. We are live on LinkedIn. We are live on Twitch. And let's see if we can get this party started over here on IG. All right. So what's going on? My applause stopped? No, come give me my flowers. Give me my applause. Give me my applause. That's right. Give me my applause. Somebody saying they like this makeup. Thank you. It's vegan as well, but it's a foundation that I did not sell in my pack because I wanted to create a pack that had foundation that could last, that could be used for all of the people. So yeah, IG just doesn't get a good. All right, we are live on IG. I think I want some Japanese food. I got some, yeah. We're live on all platforms right now. If you're on Instagram and you are, hey, Lay Chanel, hey, Hello Kitty. There's some people on Instagram coming in, but my face is half cut off on IG. Sylvalius. All right, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you want to see the full screen, you have to come over to YouTube for that. All right, so let's talk about why we're gathered here today. You know, you can still come in and shout out your city. The face is facing, says Sun. Sun, are you male or female? Because I am not, I don't know. The name is Sun, but you know, you got the lingo. All right, so let's jump into today's video. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Tonya TKO, and I am a self-love specialist from TonyaTKO.com. My credentials are, hey, look at me, you hear that? I am a life coach from an accredited program. So I'm a professionally trained life coach. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I am in a graduate program of psychology at an Ivy League institution, baby. So a very rigorous program. And this is some of what we're going to be talking about today. Some of the things that I've come across as I have been learning, right? Welcome, exclusive, welcome. And I am also a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I'm having an event in New York this December, and people are coming out to just recalibrate to become our new selves. There's one ticket left, and I'm closing them up today because we're having a meeting tomorrow, and the ladies that are in there really want us to nurture those relationships rather than somebody coming in late, and then now you have to try to play catch up. And ladies behind the scenes, get ready because we are going to be doing some testing to see where we are right now, spiritually, psychologically, mentally, physically, all of that. We're going to be doing some testing before our meeting tomorrow. I was going to spring it on you, but I'm getting you prepared right now. So today we've come together to talk about this situation with the trophy wife. And there's been something that's been bothering me. Let me get my thing up on the screen. Let me get here. Oh, you know what? Let me see because the last time I went to go play something, it did not have the sound. So I need you all to let me know if you can hear this. And I need you to let me know if you hear it with an echo.
To get it. I'm trying not to. I'm trying. Listen. It's calling me. I couldn't help myself. Here it is. Super Mammy. I mean, come the hell
on. If you could hear that, go ahead and put up a thumbs up or put up a 1, because when I tried it before, it did not have any sound, and I had to work with a technician yesterday to get it back up and running. And so I just need to know if you all in the public can hear it, because when we were listening to that woman talking, the woman who said that she is the niece, there was just a lot of cape covering energy that was coming from the screen, and I was really stunned by what it is that I was hearing. So welcome in, social. We're having a conversation. Oh, okay. So Sun is a woman. You have in the inside energy. So, all right. So let's talk, right? Let's talk. I'm glad that you all can hear that. That means that it's fixed. And I wanted to show you all something. Let's see here. Oh, You know what? I don't want to do it like that. I want to go, you know what? Let me take this off the screen because some of my pictures that I have in my thing are to get me banned on all apps. Listen, cause I be out here cutting up. I I feel you only live once, so you know I be doing the damn thing. All right, so let's go forward. Let's go forward. This does not look right. There. Let's see if we can get that up. Oh, I hate when it does this. It just makes it so big and it's not supposed to do it like that. You know, I need to create another one of these. That's what I'm going to create. I'm going to make another one. Let me duplicate this and then go here. And then I am going to make this small. That way, whenever I need to come back here, I can come back here and I don't have to. All right, there we go. Perfect. All right. So this is a comment. Let me make it a little bit bigger so that you all can see and get the gist of it. So one of the things that's been bothering me about this trophy wife situation, and for those of you that don't know, so there was a woman who calls herself the new trophy wife. She got caught up in a whirlwind romance, married a man, moved in with him, I believe, all within a matter of a few months, right? And she had 3 of his children, and things went awry for her when she came out about a week or two, about a week ago, saying that she discovered that her husband had been, I don't know, there's certain words we can't even say on these platforms, had been molesting both of her daughters. She says she took them both to the hospital and that the people in the hospital concurred that the 2 girls had been tampered with, and she got a protective order against him. And she came to the internet to let people know that what it is that she had been putting up on her channel had been that she discovered that her her marry for money, be a trophy wife, relationship advice stuff had not been true after discovering that her husband had been molesting her daughters, right? All right. What happened next, I think, oh, why is this going to be like this across the screen? Like, are you for real? Ugh, let me just put it back up. Oh, okay, let me go down one. All right. What happened next was really startling to me. And I made a video by the time I made the video, the story had broke the day before, right? And so by the time I'd made the video, there were some other people who had come out and begun to say different things. I was telling people, let's look for the self-love lessons for ourselves in this situation. And people were adamant and angry. One woman called and got herself hung up on. There were some people the next day when I went live who had some angry choice words for me, of which I had to punctuate my point with profanity. All right. I had to have the people back up off me with some choice words. And so listen, for everybody, cursing a person out may not be self-love. For me, after I've stated my boundary, punctuating my point with profanity is a way of me enforcing a very firm boundary, so that people understand that I'm very serious about what it is that I'm saying. And I'm very serious when I talk about us looking inward for the lessons that there are there for us, right? All right. So, oh, people are saying the makeup is flawless. Well, thanks. I might have to try this technique again in the future. I appreciate that. All right. Here's a comment somebody wrote, because I've been wondering, why are women coming out attacking the trophy wife? There are people saying that you can hear her daughter being essayed live on camera screaming, ouch, daddy, right? And that she just sat there giving some makeup tutorial while her daughter was being harmed, right? And anybody who has children knows that children scream, holler all the time. They fight, they rumble, they tumble. They One of my questions for a person who said that the girl was being essayed, I'm like, okay, live on camera while the mother was sitting there, because for some reason people have had a vested interest in purporting that she knew what was happening, but she didn't care, and she sold her children up the river for money, right? There are people who are like, she should have never married for money to begin with. People are just really angry at her. I want to read something for you all. Let me take this off the screen because I want to take the main camera. Oh, look at this picture your girl took today. Let me see if I could get the lower screen up. Hey, look at your girl. Look at me. All right, that's it. I just want you to see that. All right, let me get this back up. Okay. All right, so there were people who were coming out saying she's to blame, it's her fault. Who marries a person after a short courting period? She should have known. She should have known better. She should have did a better job. She's a bad mother. She didn't protect her children. Listen. Oh. Then there was a woman who came out claiming to be the niece of the man, and she's going off on the woman, talking about, how about you get your own money? How about don't marry for money? How about have your own? Talking about her uncle didn't do XYZ. The videos are up there. You can just search on my channel, right? So, the question that has just been overarching for me is, why are women coming out so hard against this woman? After the election, black women said that they were going to rest. I thought we were resting. Look, I ain't doing nothing. I commented to someone the other day, like, what is being asked of us? Right? So we have this woman who has come out and said that her children were molested. And there are people who are angry, say she should have never come to the internet, she should have never this, she should have never that. My question is, what is being asked of us? What are we being asked to do? She has a GoFundMe up. However, if you don't want to give to the GoFundMe, who is forcing you to? This is the thing that is boggling my mind. Like, what is it that is troubling people so hard? One of my hypotheses is that there are people who were harmed themselves as children and their mothers knew, and this is an opportunity for them to publicly be vindicated or attack a mother figure and create this scenario where they're saying and alleging that the mother knew, right? Another one of my thoughts is that they're angry, that they're like a crab, not wanting anyone to reach higher than they. So, how dare you, BIT? How dare you? How dare you feel that you can get a man to spoil you with his money and nothing go wrong? And here I am, splitting the bill 50-50, or in a lopsided relationship, or whatever the case may be. But how dare you think that you could rise higher, right? Then there's this book that I am in the process of listening to. There's a lot of research that I need to do and a lot of work that I need to do in my program. And there's also work that I'm doing on the side. one of the things that I'm doing, because I am getting a certificate in women and gender studies, right? Which I'm really excited about because I want to learn about the patriarchy. I want to learn about how we got here as women. How many people here have heard of the book The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir? I believe that's her name, Simone de Beauvoir. How many people have heard of The Second Sex? If you have, put up the number 2 for Second Sex. Hey, Simone de Beauvoir, I believe is her name, or Simone de it's not Devereaux, it's de Beauvoir, right? And someone's saying, but the babies though. So, and I'm going to get to that, because are we really caring about getting the, because if you feel that this mother is a danger to her children, then what are you prepared to do? How are you prepared to protect the babies? If this is what your goal is, then what are you going to do, right? Someone's saying they're jealous of women who looks beautiful. Well, there's all different types of beauty out there. You know, she to me has a mixed phenotype. There could be some of that in there too, because I heard someone on another channel saying that part of the reason that women are giving her grace is because she is lighter complected. This is what I heard. Oh, people have heard of The Second Sex. Okay. All right. So for those of you who have heard of The Second Sex, right? And so someone is saying if that was a white man, girl, he would be dragged way more. They thought he was white at first, and they started dragging, oh, I'm so glad you brought that up. They thought he was white at first, so they started dragging interracial relationships. Oh, that's why the white men were always this, that, and the other. But then when they found out it was a black man, then they started dragging her. Ain't that something? So Simone de Beauvoir, in her book, The Second Sex, opens with a quote. Listen to this quote. Listen to this quote. There is a good principle that created order, light, and man, and a bad principle that created chaos, darkness, and woman. Do you think that this is just some fly-by-night person that said this? This is Pythagoras, the person who made the Pythagorean theorem. He's a Greek philosopher that came up with the Pythagorean theorem that finds the calculation of the angles in a right angle, right triangle, right? I'll read that for you again. There is a good principle that created order, light, and man, and a bad principle that created chaos, darkness, and woman. What do you think he meant by that, Pythagoras? Created order, light, and man. Who created order, light, and man? The hatred of woman has been started from long ago, from the very pages of your precious Bible. Listen, from the very pages of your precious Bible, male worship and the indoctrination thereof began. Let's read the next quote. Listen. The next quote, where she opens her book, says, everything that has been written by men about women should be viewed with suspicion because they are both judge and party. Listen. Somebody is saying he sounds homosexual. No. He sounds hetero-fucking-sexual. If you know how these hetero-fucking-sexuals are out here behaving. Let's listen. Let's get it together. Let's get it together. Because we try to besmirch femininity. We try to besmirch gay men. We try to besmirch everyone except heterosexual men. This is why the fuck we are here today having this conversation. One of the things that bothers me is that women are willing to put it all on the line for a man they don't even fucking know. A man who has not come out to clear his own name. A man who has never said to them, I didn't do this. All they have to know is that there is some black man in the wings. And then here they come with their fucking capes in tow.
To get it. I'm trying not to. I'm trying. Listen. It's calling me. I couldn't help myself. Here it is. Super Mammy. I mean, come the hell on.
That's all it took. All it took was for them to know that there was a black man in the picture, and then here you come, running with your frock lifted to protect him. From what? This is an allegation, and the courts will decide. So this is the thing. Right? Let's do best case, worst case scenario. I mean, it's worst case and even worst case scenario in this. So let's do worst case scenario. He did this, right? We have a woman whose children have been harmed, who has come to the public to say, this happened to us. And the response from the female populace is to turn on her and expose her when she is in one of the lowest states possible at this current time in her life. That's the worst case scenario. And the even worse case scenario is that she's a liar. Because what does that say about her mental health, her mental wellness? Let me start that again. What does that say about her mental health, her mental wellness, or the lack thereof? Because if she has come out and she has lied about all of this, if she has lied and called the father of her children publicly a child molester, and not only that, an incestuous child molesting father who molested his own daughters, if she were the type of person to come out and lie about that, right? For those of you who believe in a higher power, does this higher power need you on the internet trying to drag her? Because let me tell you something, right? When it comes to being on which side of history, I would rather be neutral and say, you know what, the courts will figure this out, than to come and drag a mother at perhaps the lowest point in her life when she's already dealing with children who are harmed. Rather than what? What is the alternative to what? Expose without proof? Where is your verifiable proof that he did not do this? We have a mother showing her face on camera who is saying this person did this. And we have a nameless, faceless black man behind the scenes who has never come forward to say he didn't. I want to understand why black women are taking it upon themselves to run, frock in hand, cape in tow, to defend, protect, and cover him at the expense of a woman who is saying that her children were harmed. I need to understand why. That's the one thing that is bothering me about this, because at the very least, you can remain neutral and say, you know what? I will let the evidence speak for itself. I will let the courts decide. And you, if you do not want to support her, don't. If you do not want to support him, don't. There's no need to attack him. There's no need. Somebody went and published his first, last name, all of that, talking about he deserves XYZ. We don't have proof either way. We don't have proof that he did this. At the very least, we have one person's word against a person who has not said anything. And then people are saying she has an open child abuse case against her. Listen, you know what? I've been saying I'm going to pay for the background checks myself. I keep saying that, but I haven't had a chance to. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, right? So someone is saying she has already responded and provided proof of the accusations online. Yeah, but this is the thing. We do not know. We don't know if because a protective order, you can get a protective order and make an allegation in the protective order. That does not mean that it's true. It doesn't. It's still her word against his, and an investigation needs to be done. I'm curious as to why. And so somebody is saying when moms are taking their baths, they'll let they'll let whatever chaos is happening be handled by the dad because she's probably on mommy duty the whole time. She doesn't have a child abuse case against her. If she's lying, I'm a bit surprised. A one-sided argument has become a fool. So listen, I'm going to tell you this, right? I'm going to tell you this. If she is found to be a liar, and I've made all of these videos, right? And in the videos, I'm telling you all, look within, look to the inside of yourself. I'm telling you all to do that, right? If there is anybody who mistakes what it is that I am saying as being overwhelmingly on her side, XYZ, right? Honestly, I would rather err on the side of caution. I would rather err on the side of protecting the children and finding out later on, like let's say I found out that this woman is a stone cold, psychopathic, sociopathic, crazy, stone cold liar, right? Let's say we find that out. I will still feel proud of myself for having advocated for the children. Personally. Because the fault and the blame is not on me. The fault and the blame is on the liar. I can't control whether or not a person is lying. Just like it's not a mother's fault if a father decides to become an incestuous maniac and attack his own daughters. I mean, that's not a mother's fault. There is someone saying blah, blah, blah. Bitch. Go ahead, play with it if you want to. Not here, you don't. So listen, I want to, we're going to play some songs for you all because it's time that we got up and we danced a little bit. Let's see what this is. That's interesting. Let's see what this one is. Okay, it's interesting. Let's see what we have. Let's see. Let me go to my Let's see. This one is called Ain't Nobody Like You.
Jump into the car on a Friday night. I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town. I've never seen a sky so blue.
like it. It's
And I'm
fun.
so lucky to be yours.
Let's see what else we got here. This one, I want one with the high beats per minute. Let's see what this one is.
Even if I try to leave.
Nope. Nope. Let's see. I'm looking for something with high BPM. Let's see. This is called We Should Start Right Now.
Every change has a reason.
All right, let's get up.
Baby, let it come to you.
All right, come on.
Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities. If the passion's gone, we are doing it wrong. Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet, we could stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between. So baby, we should start living now. 'Cause we only have this life.
I can't do no more than that.
And wanna cry.
Let's find something else. Let's find something else. Let's see if we can find. Let's see if we could find something. Let's see. Afrobeaty. Let's see.
Yeah, and you, Amaru, yeah. You brought the days to my nights. Eh, I did everything I said, but I did it all my way. Oh wow, told you when you came my way.
All right, let's
nobody
see.
take your place.
Let's try to find something a little more upbeat
You
than
know
that.
like the game then play. Give it to you straight all day.
Let's see what's this. All right.
My baby, I like you.
Oh, I can't find nothing faster. Come on. Let me see. Let me see if I can find. Can I search by tempo? Let me see. Upbeat. Let's see what we have for upbeat. Let's see.
Okay, yeah. I don't need this no more. I don't need to stay. Finna walk up that.
No! This is angering me. Oh. All right. I don't know what to do. You know what? Let's look for workout music. Let's see what we have for workout, because that'll be upbeat. They cannot deny me. Oh my gracious. Uplifting workout playlist. Okay, this one is called I Know We Could. I'm not doing this. This one is called Too Late for Me. I don't know about this. Let me click on this playlist and see what we have. This one's called Dance Like No One's Watching.
I'm gonna dance dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance by myself like nobody's watching. Don't really care if my rhythm's off, 'cause I'm gonna dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching me. I'm gonna dance. I'm gonna dance. I've been trying to cope since you ran away. I've been feeling lost, I've been feeling pain. And no matter what I do, I just feel like I do what I do for you. I tried to call the doctor, it didn't help. Took a trip out to the sun to revive myself. But no matter what I do, I just feel like I do what I do for you. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, 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 dance. I'm gonna dance, dance, dance like nobody's watching me.
Oh, that was fun. someone is. You all are not supposed to be watching me. You're supposed to be doing your own dance. Oh my goodness. Let me check these apples. I gotta add this to a playlist. I really do. Because this was fun. This was fun. Oh. Upbeat. There we go. Oh. Okay. I don't know, this music just inspired just weird dances. All right, let me check the apples real quick. All right, so we have Courtney who sent $5 for support. Why is it not clicking? Okay, here we go. Thank you, Courtney. Let's go back. Oh, that was too much fun. That was too much fun. Oh my gracious. That was too much fun. Okay. All right. All right. So let's get to the stuff I wanted you all to see. All right, let's get to the stuff I wanted you all to see. That was too funny. Thank you all for participating in that with me. That was a lot of fun, I tell you that much. That was a lot of fun. All right, so this is what I wanted you all to see. So somebody says, so the name is B. So B says, some of it also is laden with fear. If ISIS is the problem and ISIS did not do ABC and ISIS did not care, I can rest peacefully thinking it cannot happen to me and my kids because I am not like ISIS. This is part of the reason I said in the video that we did last is that none of us here are better than her. You know, we all are dealing with things at different parts of our lives, including mental unwellness. Because if at the very worst case scenario that she's made all of this up, then that speaks to where it is that she is mentally. And in that case, I just have empathy for her because this is This is not the behaviors of a person who is well. Like that, a person who is well mentally doesn't do something like that. And this person makes a good point in that people want to say, well, you did this wrong. I'm better than you. So I, something I just thought about while I was speaking, or the circumstances that I get into in my life, I want to distance myself from by lambasting another person, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, we all know people who are gay who lambast the gay community because they're hoping that in their separation from it, they can separate themselves from their own pain and lack of cohesiveness on the inside. So there's that. And then there's also this comment that I wanted you all to see. All right. So this person says, the woman made a series of bad decisions and did no due diligence. Let me start again looking at it from here, because looking at it on the screen is really small. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you all. You can put this on your TV too in case you need to just make it larger. There we go. So the person says, this woman made a series of bad decisions and did no due diligence before moving in with the man. I believe many women are holding her accountable for her actions, which led to these terrible events. Her actions led to this terrible event. The person who allegedly snuck into the room in the middle of the night. Like, I don't care if you... The only person responsible for rape is the rapist. The only person responsible for molestation is the molester. That's it. A woman should be able to go to sleep in her home. A woman should be able to be on the camera or take a bath or leave her husband with the children. A father should be able to change his children's diaper. I saw one post online of a woman who was like, I will never let my husband even change my daughter's diaper. Why would you marry a person like that you couldn't trust to change a diaper? So there are two different things going on here, but who's at fault? The only person at fault is the person who did that action. So let's go into this word accountable. Can you hold somebody else accountable? Is that how accountability works? How does accountability work? I want to see. If you feel that you can hold other people accountable, put up a 3. If you know that you cannot hold other people accountable, put up a 0. I want to see the numbers. Let's give it some time for the votes to come in, because there's a little bit of a delay between when I say it. That was a funny dance with the jellyfish arms. That was so funny. But it felt fun to do in the moment. So yeah, so somebody is saying her action. Someone is saying the fact that no one is speaking to men cleaning up their act. They want to only focus on the woman. How about telling men to stop touching their children? Yeah, this is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm not going to be with a man if I don't trust him with my children. It's always the woman's fault. Absolutely not, people are saying. So Brianna thinks you can hold other people accountable. Brenda knows that you can't. Tonya D knows you can't. Perfumania knows you can't. CJ is saying you can through a lawsuit. No, you can't. 3, we kind of don't have to. There's a justice system for that. So let me just tell you how accountability works. Accountability is something, you know what, we'll go back to the response that I wrote from this page, right? I say false. Accountability comes from the inside of a person. Someone can hold themselves accountable. Anyone on the outside is exerting their force onto another. Why? And who bestowed that authority? And by what governing body were they bestowed this authority? This authority to hold anyone outside of themselves, quote unquote, accountable. Can each person hold themselves accountable for how inappropriate that is? Can people search within themselves to locate the origin of this feeling to try to force something onto women that they don't know, onto women they don't know? So there are a few people here that in Kevin Samuel's era, there's a whole bunch of men left over who feel that in the backlash and aftermath of the funky red pill and black pill movement, there are people out there who feel that they can hold women accountable. No, you cannot. A person has to hold themselves accountable. Anything other than that is blame. When it's exerted from the outside, you trying to hold somebody accountable is you blaming them and wanting them to be punished. You want them now, a person can be responsible for something, right? You can want them to take responsibility. You can want them to take accountability. You can even say, well, I'm going to try to hold you responsible. But accountability is an inside job. And what does accountability look like? What would satisfy people in a situation like this to know that she has held herself accountable enough? What will it take? It's like people want to participate in this gladiator ring, schadenfreude, enjoying the bashing and the brutalization, even emotionally, figuratively, psychologically, brutalization of a woman, all in the effort of what will it take? At what point? What does she need to say, do, or be for you to feel that she's been held accountable enough? All of the people who are putting up the number 3, I want you to tell me, what do you feel would satisfy you to know that she has held herself accountable to your standards, please? And then you know what? I can even open up the phone lines for you all to call in and tell me, at what point will you say, okay, well, I know that she's held herself accountable enough? Kara is saying sounded like it knew, like she knew. That's a rumor that you should be very careful about purporting before you purport it. Where does it sound like she knew? Provide the evidence of that. Provide the evidence, because if that is the case, then the children need to be taken away from her. So what you're saying is that you believe this enough to go and have the children taken away from her. Because if that is the case, call the local ordinance and go have her picked up and arrested if you feel that she willingly sat there and allowed her child or her children to be sexually molested while she stood in the background. Go have the children taken from her house then. Because what I think a lot of people want to do is this is a serious allegation. If you feel that she knew, show proof that she knew. And once you show that proof, go to the police with the proof, because at the end of the day, we're here to protect the children, right? Or are we here to bash a woman? Which one is it? And I need the people to help me understand. Somebody's saying they disagree. You are welcome to disagree. I'm going to open up the phone lines in a moment. An opinion is like an asshole and everyone can toot theirs. That's maybe not how the saying goes. I want someone to explain to me at what point do you feel that she would be held accountable enough? Somebody came and responded after I did. Let's see what that says. The person says, Jojo, did she not take accountability by coming out and telling us she married a man after a week? You can't make someone accept responsibility for their own actions, but even when they do, y'all ignore it because y'all have the word accountable and punishment confused. Yes. 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 You can call, you have your opinion, you can call and speak your opinion. I'm going to be opening up the phone lines in a moment. So you said you disagree. Let's open the phone lines. Let's get the party started. All right. Phone lines are open. 323-488-3149. That is the telephone number. Okay, I'm all ears. Telephone lines are open. I I said they're like an asshole. Everyone has one or can toot theirs, so come toot your opinion. Come toot your opinion. I'm giving you the floor to help me understand because I really want to understand at what point will you feel that she is held accountable enough? What would you like to see happen? Do you want to see her in prison? What do you want to see happen? Do you want to see her by the side of the road with a cardboard sign begging for help? Do you want to see her get physically assaulted? I want to know, what is it? What in your mind will be enough for you to say, okay, she's been held accountable enough? Do you want her to pay a fine? What do you want? Do you want the phone lines are open and no one is calling. The phone number is going across the screen right there. Save the number because this is the number. Let me drink myself a little bit. Oh, goodness. Hold on, the line is ringing. You're on the air live with Tonya. Give me just one moment. I got to drink some water, coffee. Okay. All right, you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name's Carly. I'm calling from California.
Hey, Carly from California. So talk to us. At what point do you feel that she would be held accountable enough?
Well, I'm sorry, I misunderstood because I actually feel as though we take accountability too far as women, almost to the point that we begin gaslighting ourselves. And I think that it's a bit extreme to just only focus on the woman, in opposed to the man. It's giving, what did you have on?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, Carly. Thank you. We're going to take the next call. All right. Phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. Yeah. So this is you're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name? Oh, the call ended. You have to call back again. It looks like someone is trying to call from England. Let me see if I can get this, the WhatsApp connected. Give me a second. Oh, wow, look at that. The sound is finally playing. Oh, I unloaded the business WhatsApp I had. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hi, my name is Veritas. I'm calling from London.
You said your name is what?
Veritas, but you can call me V. I'm calling from London. Hi.
Hi, I didn't catch your name. I want to call you by your name. You said Zaytab?
Oh, no, Veritas. So
Oh, Veritas?
Veritas.
Okay. All right, Veritas. So
Yes.
welcome on the line, calling from London. What's your comment this afternoon?
So my comment is, I've just been watching this case from when she first released the video. Actually, I watched it and I was blown away, and I already saw what was coming. I said, you know what? People are going to play her story, say that, oh, it's good that she was brave to tell her story, but then later on try and poke holes in her story. What I noticed with the black male worshipping culture, and this has been happening from way back then, is whenever a black woman is crying out for help, they always try to find holes in her story and use the word accountability as a gaslighting tool to punish her. So am I saying that, yes, there are people who lie, but from what I understand, it's like probably 1 in 4 cases of women lying. And I feel like based on the toxic patriarchy we're in, they use that 1 in 4 women who are lying to say, yes, this woman has definitely got to be lying. We've seen it with R. Kelly. Even though the proof was out there, they were still finding holes in the in the victim's story. Even though the proof had shown from the time of Aaliyah, people were still finding holes in the survivor's story. P. Diddy, same thing. Even with the evidence, people were still calling Cassie a liar until a video came out. And
Yeah.
even when the video came out, what happened to Cassie, people were like, oh, what did she do? She must have done something to aggravate him. There's always this accountability and victim blaming culture towards black women. I've not seen anyone saying anything about the husband. No one has even, I would have expected the same black women who were saying, you know what, after the elections, oh, we're burning our cake, we're done.
Yeah.
I would have expected them to hold hands and say, let's find out who this man is and get him arrested. Because, of course, a woman who's powerless, you never know who he's connected to. We've seen it with Diddy. You never know if he's connected to a judge or if he's paying people to bribe them. We've never thought to, like, look that deep and say, let's find if we can help her because she's powerless. But instead, people are giving more power to the abuser and finding holes in this woman's story. And it's just so heartbreaking watching it. It's really angering me to the point I'm like, you know, so I'm really glad to hear.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, please.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. So it's just, the whole black male worshipping culture worldwide and the hypocrisy that black women do to each other, but yet we're the same ones screaming burn the cape, but still caping in this case.
Yeah.
Which one is it?
So I'm not sure what the data is in England, but in the United States, the people it's not 1 in 5. You said 1 in 5 or 1 in 4, 25%?
I think it's like 1 in 4, 1 in 4 to 1 in 5. Yes.
No,
I'm sorry, I haven't got the direct number.
In the
but it's usually 1 in 4.
In the United States, they say that it is less than. Hold on, let me pull it up because it's either 0.5% or 5%. Let's see, what percentage of women lie about rape? Okay.
Right. And we've made that the majority. And see what the society has done? It's 1%, but they've made the majority.
Right. And so they say it's anywhere between, it says Decano 1993 states that while researchers and prosecutors do not agree on the exact percentage of cases in which there is sufficient evidence to conclude that allegations were false, they generally agree on a range between 2 and 10%. And that's coming from the top search result. Wikipedia also has some information. It says 2 to 10% on here. It says a 2009 rape cases across 11 countries in Europe found the proportion of cases designated false range from 4 to 9%. However, estimates of false allegations are in fact estimates of proven false allegations. These are not estimates of likely or possible false allegations. According to estimates of false allegations rate of 5% based on proven false allegations does not allow an inference that 95% of allegations are truthful. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's a very small number of people who are found to be lying, but how do we know that she isn't lying? How do we know that?
Yeah, I agree with you. We don't know. Of course, I agree that we don't know if she isn't lying or not. There's not enough proof to say that she's lying, that she's telling the truth, and there's not even enough proof to say that, you know, he did or didn't. But I think my main point that I really wanted to hone in on is the culture towards black women who scream out for help or are coming to speak about these type of allegations involving abuse and being afraid, or women who are speaking out on their abuse. Historically, and a lot, like so many times, we're always finding holes in her story before trying to help them. Oh, immediately, oh, this person must be lying. Let's find holes. Or if someone comes out with allegedly exposing this person,
what if she is a part of that 2 to 10%? What if?
If she's a part of that 2%, I wholeheartedly agree that, okay, not only will karma have to deal with her, but she has to be held. That's where I'll say accountability is the case. She has to, of course, be arrested because you've now not only ruined the lives of the person you're accusing, but even her children now. They're going to have to suffer from this because it's been put out in public. And, of course, the government will have to intervene for the safety of her children, you know, because this is really, the children is really the main focus here, the protection of the children. That's my opinion on that.
Okay, say that last part again.
I said that's my opinion on if she is found to be lying. Absolutely, she has to be held accountable by the law. Of course, I believe in a higher power. That higher power has to do what it has to do. And of course, her children. The main focus here is really the protection of her children, because her telling that lie about their father, if she was lying, her telling that lie about her father is going to really affect the children, because this has been put out on a public platform, right? And her children are going to grow up knowing this.
Yes,
So,
it's true.
yes, this is where I'll say accountability has to be done the lawful way and even the spiritual way, okay? Law, I'm very, very a strong believer in the law of karma, a higher power dealing with it. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
But on the other hand of that, what's happening now is this whole black women need to be accountable, or accountability word, I've always believed is used as a gaslighting tool and as a way to punish
Yes.
victims.
Yes.
Especially black women. This accountability is always thrown on us. But where's the accountability for the men and masters in our community who are failing to be fathers, creating broken homes, and this sexual, excuse me, let me say essaying, because I understand there's restrictions on YouTube. And when it comes to abuse, there's always let's blame the victims. And this is why so many women are afraid to come out and speak out about it, because especially in our community, we're always labeled as liars. Oh, it's always the woman's fault. Blame the woman. She must have done something for this to happen. Oh, she's a failed mother. Why does she? Yes, she made her mistakes by being desperate with how she got with him. Absolutely. But that doesn't mean she's responsible for what happened to her daughters. She's not the one who committed the crime.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
that's
so
my point
so
on
then
everything. Thank you so much,
you
Tonya.
brought, okay, perfect. Thank you so much for calling in. So this caller brought up a great point. At the very most, she can hold herself accountable for her moving too fast, her desperation, or whatever the case may be. What she cannot hold herself accountable for are the actions of a grown man, a man 20 years older than she. So I want to find out from someone, at what point do you feel that she would have been held accountable enough? I need someone to call in answering that, please. Please. Phone lines are open. The number is scrolling across the screen, 323-488-3149. And someone is saying, did the caller see the videos where she criticized women for dating Dusties? Well, according to the definition of a Dusty, what is a Dusty? From what it is that I know, a Dusty and a Brokey are supposedly the same thing. What is your definition of a Dusty? So the phone lines are open. So her biggest crime to sacred is that she has low self-esteem. That she stayed in a situation after she was violated and held down and essayed by her husband. What type of person goes forward in a relationship where they are essayed? So you feel that her biggest crime is having low self-esteem. Is that what it is? Someone else is saying that she was pretending to be, that who she was pretending throughout her marriage makes her disconnected from her reality. Therefore, she is capable of creating a huge lie. All right, now there's a person that is saying the history of her lying online shows that she can make up lies. You are on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Nia and I'm from New York. I've been following this story for like all week and it just weighs so heavy on me
Hey, Nia from New York.
Hi. So I'm a new mom. I'm 4 months postpartum and watching this story just unfold and it just gets worse. I feel like it just gets worse each day and I feel like there's things coming out, but there's no like real update. And watching her old videos, she came off very arrogant, judgmental. There was one video where she even said, like, if you need to do a water fast to lose weight, then go do it. Like she was just coming off very like judgmental, very arrogant. And I feel like she got really cocky because she finally landed someone that, had money. And I feel like she came from like a hard background, obviously. She explained her situation, her childhood, and she let her ego get too big. And the signs were there. I'm sorry, the signs were there.
What were
And
the
she ignored
signs?
them because
What were the signs?
I feel like, well, she did mention that he SA'd her 4 times.
Right. So what were the signs that he was essaying the children?
I feel like if you're changing your child every day, you should see it,
You should see what?
like redness or some irritation.
Okay, so you're saying that there were signs. I want you to tell me the inside information that you have that she saw the signs and ignored them. Because what this
No,
sounds
I don't.
like, okay, you don't. You know what this sounds like is that you take issue with the fact that she was cocky. So let's talk. Let's talk.
No, I don't
Or
have an
arrogant.
issue with it.
Well, this is what you mentioned. You said that she was cocky and arrogant. Let's talk about that. What is the matter
Okay.
with her being arrogant? What's the matter with her being cocky?
There's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like God humbles.
Okay, so you want her to be
I'm not saying
humble.
she was wrong. I don't want her to be anything. I'm just saying like the change in the dynamic was just like so crazy because one minute she was on her high horse, which there's nothing wrong about. You could brag and that's okay, but I feel like like she got humbled and like it's just hurtful to see. Like she went from
Okay,
bragging about being in a port acting. I'm sorry?
I'm saying okay.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. I'm sorry. But I just feel like if you're changing your daughter every day, you change your daughters every day, wouldn't you like notice something like there,
Like what?
like something different?
Like what?
I don't know because I've never been in that situation, so I'm not sure,
Right.
but she did
So
mention that it was red.
right. So what you cannot do is you cannot say that she saw the signs, that there were signs. You have to tell me what signs there were. Because hindsight is 2020. It's easy for somebody on the outside to say what somebody else should be doing. And this is how we end up depressed. We end up depressed when we maintain this air of this person should have known better, because then there's a
Mhm.
cockiness in you that you would have known better. Do you think that you would have known?
I don't know.
All
I'm
right
not too
then.
sure.
And then there's the truth right there. Because you're talking about her arrogance and how God humbles. Your child being molested is humbling? That's
No,
what we're
that was a
talking
poor
about?
choice of words. I was saying, no, I was saying she was humbled because she ended up having to ask for a GoFundMe. I'm
Okay.
just
Is
watching
that
like a whole bunch of
is that a baby
videos
I hear in
and
the
things.
background?
I'm
I
sorry?
thought I just heard a baby in the background.
Yes. Okay, my choice of words are wrong, okay? I'm just saying, like,
So hold on,
I just
hold on,
find it
hold on,
a
hold on,
little
hold
strange.
on, hold on, hold on, hold on. You're a mother of an infant child. This sounds like a very young baby.
Yes.
Okay. And so I want you to tell me the connection that you have to the content that you saw of hers when she was on the internet, arrogant, bragging, no humility about this wonderful man that she got with. And now the quote unquote fall from grace. What is your relationship to that?
I don't have a relationship with that.
You must have a relationship to it because this is something that you called in saying that it had been troubling you all week.
Yeah, because these innocent children are just like going through so much and it hurts. I feel like anybody would like be hurt by that.
Okay. You see, it's very easy to see other people and much more difficult to see ourselves. I'm asking you to look within yourself because you felt that she should have been able to look within herself enough to know what was happening and how she was on this fake high horse. Number one, what type of human being fakes their whole life online? What type of self-esteem must they have to fake how it is that they're
They have
living?
very low
Okay, so
self-esteem.
then let's hold that, right? We're talking about a person who you say has said she came from humble beginnings, has low self-esteem,
Mhm.
lack of boundaries, right? And now she's a mother in this situation and she's up on the internet bragging. The very fact that you have a feeling about this shows that you are connected to it from something that is going on inside of you. A relationship that you have to something that she said, that she did, that you are thinking about her. And so, are you a single mother?
No, I'm not. I'm married.
Okay, so you're married. What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay, so listen, what do you think you could do in your household with your husband? Do you trust your husband with your children or your
Yes, I
child?
do.
Okay. So, what do you think she should have or could have done differently that you do or do not do in your situation?
What could she have done differently? I mean,
She's already, you're
I don't
married,
know
she's
her
already
household
married.
dynamic.
Uh huh. Right. So, this is what I'm saying. You really have to look within yourself because the things that you came up talking about was her arrogance, her lack of humility, that she was, I guess, braggadocious, that she was living this lie online. And the relationship that you have to that is some moral, some value that you have on the inside that you feel was crossed, ignored, something that you would do differently. But this is really only about you. It's only about you. The relationship that you have to this is about you. And we cannot
Wait,
ask,
how is this about me? I feel bad for her children.
why do you feel bad for her children?
Wouldn't anybody feel
Listen, this
bad?
is not about anybody. This is about you. Why do you feel bad for her children? And I'll tell you how it's about you.
Because her children were SA. Who wouldn't feel bad about
There's a
that?
lot of people who wouldn't. I'm talking about you. Why do you? The reason why you feel a certain way about anything about this situation has to do with you and you alone because of the way that you're interpreting this based against your own value system, your life experience, something that is going on inside of you. So I know why I feel the way that I do.
No, I
Listen,
just
see,
have
okay,
sympathy.
listen. I'm going to tell you this, right? You are being blind right now because you refuse to see how you are related to your feelings about this. But you're expecting more from her than you are willing to admit yourself. You don't see it, and she didn't see it. You don't see it. I can see it plain as day. I was molested as a little girl. That's why I personally think that this situation is very disgusting and egregious. Because that is the relationship that I have to
Okay,
it.
but I
Because,
wasn't. Like,
right,
I have
listen, right,
compassion.
this is about more than just compassion. This is about you walking around living your life and the things that trouble you. Listen, you have to do your own shadow work. I don't know what your relationship is to it. I talked about my relationship to it. I didn't say that that was your relationship to it. I am telling you that you're expecting more of her than you are willing to admit yourself. Go read a book on shadow work. That's the only thing that I can recommend because there's something, because anything that troubles us about another person comes from the inside of us. Some relationship that we have to it, and you have to do your own shadow work. I've done my shadow work, and there's more that I can do. This is why I told you out loud why it troubles me, because I'm willing to admit that for me. But you need to admit to yourself, what is it about a woman being arrogant? What is it about a woman being cocky that bothers you so much? Anyway, thank you so much for calling, and you have a great day. All right. The phone lines are open. And I want you all to know that, yes, there's compassion. There's compassion, yes. However, when there is something that disturbs us, that angers us, that saddens us, there is a relationship that we have to it. And we have to be willing to look within ourselves enough to admit to ourselves why something troubles us. Why something troubles us. So, the phone lines are open. There was someone who was calling in a lot. I guess they wanted to get through. I'm going to call this person back. And I think that that is what a lot of it is. People are enjoying seeing a cocky woman humbled. They're enjoying seeing her fall off her high horse. They're enjoying seeing her eat crow. They're enjoying seeing her eat humble pie. But why? Why does that enliven us so much on the inside to see a woman get with egg on her face? You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Amos Weir Bay. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Your name is what?
Al Musweir Bay.
Al Musweir Bay? Okay. You're
I'm in the chat. Al Musweir Bay.
I'm not able to read everyone's name in the chat. Are you calling in with an attitude? Because you can drop it if it's like that. Okay.
Whoa, chill out. You asked me to repronounce my title, and I did.
Your name, and you're telling me you're in the chat. You're on the phone. I'm hearing you on the phone. Calm down, sir. Stop being so emotional.
Ma'am, I'm not. You're not going to gaslight me into being upset.
Listen.
Listen.
No. Okay, you want to know what you listen to? Listen to this. Listen to that. If you're on the phone with me, why are you telling me to look in the chat for your name, son? Tell me what it is on the line so that I can pronounce it the right way. You calling up with your fucking balls up in a bunch, bitch. Settle down. Simmer down. It's like, the fuck? I don't understand what's wrong with some people. You're the one calling in here. Say your name so that people can understand it. You mush mouth. No one can understand what the hell you're saying. Mush mouth. I'm no one can understand that. You're on the air live with Tonya TKO. What's your name and where you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. This is Yanni. I was listening in.
The Yanni?
Yes.
Child, I'm so glad you called. I just cursed the person out, and I needed to calm myself. Goodness.
I was listening, and honestly, you made a really great point. And yes, it is shadow work. And I think I was watching some of Isis's content, and honestly, I was triggered by some of the things that she was saying as well. But as women, we are in a space where we are being triggered by a lot of things that are happening in the world. And it is requiring us to look deeper within ourselves for us to change the things that we need to change within ourselves to get a different outcome, a positive outcome. And I think this is just another one of those situations. And so I get where the other caller is coming from New York, where she's really bothered by some of the comments that Isis made, you know, her arrogance and just her overall demeanor. But when it really comes down to it, she didn't deserve, if it is true, right? And I'm neutral. I'm completely 100% neutral in the situation because I wasn't there. And I'm not going to lie, there are some inconsistencies, but it involves children. So my compassion is neutral when it comes to this situation. And I think it just really comes down to, we don't know. We're making assumptions, and we would hate to make the wrong assumptions because we don't know. And it's a lot of it comes down to us projecting. I think a lot of the people that are blaming her, it's because their mother didn't speak up for them. Their mother didn't protect them. Their mother didn't defend them. And so this situation is really triggering for a lot of people. And I have a lot of compassion for those that are triggered by the fact that they wish maybe ISIS could have done something different. But I've never been in a situation like that to say that. I've never experienced anything like this. So the only thing I can hold space for is compassion, because that's the only thing that I can really empathize with when it comes to her situation. I've never been in a situation like that. So I think a lot of the girls are upset at ISIS because of her persona and what she was online doing. And that really triggers a lot of women. And they don't want to look past that to give her the compassion right now, because a lot of the comments and a lot of the things that she said, like the last caller mentioned the water fast. I watched that video, and that did trigger me. As a girl that was on a weight loss journey for hella years, it's like, girl, drink water, go on a water fast. I think she even said something along the lines of, oh, if you ever have a yeast infection, just do a water fast. And she just said it very arrogantly. But in my opinion, a woman can be arrogant, a woman can be stupid, a woman can be dumb, and a woman can be naive, but that doesn't mean that she should have been violated. Her children should have been violated. And that's my whole stance with this. Men can be arrogant, dumb, stupid, boastful. They can walk around with a chip on their shoulder. They can be a boss. They can be this. They can be that. And they don't really have to worry about being violated. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm saying it doesn't happen as often when it comes to women. So the space that I hold for ISIS is me being neutral, and I'm sending her compassion right now because I don't know what she's going through. And if a man can walk around and do dumb things, boys will be boys, men will be men. It's the same situation with ISIS. And so for me, I'm just going to be neutral. I'm sending my compassion, and right now I'm just going to hold my what she should have did, what she could have done. I'm just going to hold it for a later time because it involves children.
Right.
Well, if it's really about the children, if it's really truly about the children,
exactly. So
you were going to be neutral.
Question for you, because I watched one of your videos live the other day where you had the cousin's the niece, the alleged niece, right? And at the end of the niece talking, you said that out of everything that you heard, that the niece makes the most sense. That's what you, and I was
according to the information that's out here, she does. She makes the most sense as far as what you're able to look up online. The only thing that I was not able to verify and confirm was the child abuse claims that she had against ISIS. I don't know if that's a CPS case or is, because I didn't see that. I saw all the other things that were mentioned, but I did not see the CPS alleged case that she's saying that ISIS has against her for child abuse. I did not see that.
Okay,
but
so
all the other stuff that was mentioned, like the divorce, it did align with what the niece was saying. So the inconsistencies with ISIS is what is throwing me off right now with her, which is why I wish she never would have went public with what's currently going on or what's currently happening. I wish she would have waited.
Okay, so because I'm glad I got you on the line, because I really want to understand with the two different stories held up against one another. We have ISIS's story, then we have the alleged niece's story. Where are the inconsistencies in ISIS's story compared to the niece's, or do you feel that the niece's filled in gaps that weren't there?
There's gaps in both stories, according to what's available online. There's gaps in both stories. But what ISIS did not mention was that she was going through a divorce, and that information was pulled up. But what's really weird to me is that there was a DV case that happened last year, and it happened around the same time. And then I think she ended up getting pregnant, and she kind of does this thing where, according to her content, where she kind of gets pregnant on purpose. I think she has kids on purpose. And I think it's kind of interesting. She just had her I think her son, like maybe 6 months ago or something like that. And so I think she was able to prolong her marriage a little bit, but they were having issues last year, and that can be looked up online. And then the second thing that Denise was saying was that she went out and she created all of this because the fact that he went and filed for divorce, which I was able to confirm
Say
that
that
he
again?
did go out and file for divorce.
Oh, file for divorce. Okay.
Which is weird because men don't file for divorce. Normally, they leave that up for women to go and do all the paperwork. And so I don't know when her husband decided to file for divorce and go through that whole process, but she had another DV case that happened right before that was filed in process. The divorce was filed in process. So now we're 2 DVD cases in, and then there's a divorce now at play. So I don't know. I really don't know what to think, because I don't want to think that, this isn't an abusive situation. But I also don't want to accuse someone of something that they may not have done. It's really hard to tell. You just see what's filed, what's out there, what cases have been out there, and just the process. And so one thing that I will say, though, that did not make sense with Isis's story is that her protective order that she keeps flashing towards everyone is a civil case, and the paperwork that you see in her video are the claims that she made in order to get the protective order. It's not what the judge approved, or it's not what the judge is saying happened. It's not what the doctors are saying happened. It's not what investigators are saying what happened. It is what she made a claim about in order to get that protective order.
Okay.
And so I just think that's kind of disingenuous, because if it was, if she went to the hospital, the kids were examined, then it would have been a criminal case. It would not have been a civil case.
Okay.
Because a crime was committed.
So, okay. Thank you for elaborating on that. There are men who do file for divorce. You're right. The majority of women file for divorce. I believe it's 80% about. However, there are abusive men who file for divorce, and the divorce is an act of the abuse. First, they hide their money, and then they file for divorce so that they could have the leg up, especially if they're the ones with the lawyer. So there's a lot of moving pieces that we don't know, especially when it comes to the things that are being said. So with this alleged niece,
and he also has a pattern. I believe this is his third marriage. He has a pattern of doing this.
A pattern of doing what?
Really
Wait a minute. Hold on. This is his third marriage, and he does this?
Yes.
He goes and files for divorce from...
Yes. And this is why I'm really urging people to just be neutral in the situation, because all of the adults really are just not innocent to me. From the husband, I don't think it's a far reach, considering he had a profile out here where he was soliciting young women.
Hold on,
for,
what?
I guess, dates.
Yanni, I'm not caught up.
Yeah,
wait a minute. Damn it. What? Where was
people were caught up?
No, because you know what? I'm in school, and I have so much reading and work to do. I don't even have the time to be doing this video. I thought it was going to be quick. Wait, he had a dating profile out here soliciting young women.
Yes. The range was 18 to 40. And so the abuse claim, if you're going to go out here and try to get an 18-year-old, that's weird to me. And you're 47.
Yeah.
So the man is not innocent in the situation, in my opinion, just off of that alone. I just think it's weird when older men seek out younger women. And then the niece, I think she had, I don't know, she has an issue with Isis, and I think it's very personal.
Yes.
It may be some jealousy. It may be that she just doesn't like her, for whatever the case may be. But what's weird to me is the niece knew that these things were going on, but it didn't seem like she reported anything. So I'm looking at her weird. And then, Isis, unfortunately, because she came online and we were all introduced to her to be a certain persona, and now that's coming out to be all lies. Okay. It's like you really can't trust any of the adults in the situation. The only thing that you can really do is just hope that the system, which that's a whole other conversation for another day. But
Yeah,
you just hope that the system is going to
exactly.
get
So that's what I
down to the
wanted.
bottom of
That's
it.
what I wanted to point to. So when
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with child SA cases, especially incestuous ones, right? But from my understanding, that when children, because children are involved, that due caution is enacted, in that there must be an investigation launched, especially when the evidence is not overwhelming in terms of showing that, like if the little children had their openings burst apart, then that would be overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But from what it is that I heard in the video, that there was a redness that existed there, and she felt that the redness was not in line with what should be happening in the area. So let's say, for
Mm-hmm.
example, she takes the daughter to the hospital because she has some redness. So she's potty trained, so she's not wearing diapers or Depend. She's potty trained, and yet she has this
Mm-hmm.
redness in her private area. And so she takes the child to the doctor. Let's say that the insides are not burst apart. So let's say that there was a fondling or finagling. I don't think finagle is the right word, but a fondling that was going on in
Mm-hmm.
a molesting fondling, right? But not a penetrative
Mm-hmm.
fondling. Then
And
then what is
that's what
then
I was told by a social worker, that if there was no signs of penetration, it's going to be harder to prove. That's what I was told by a
right?
social worker,
But yeah,
and
so
especially when it comes down to small children, because
yeah,
they wear diapers, kids get rashes and things like that. And so,
right,
after talking to the social worker, like, social workers will tell you that the system fails kids a lot, because
yeah,
if it can't really be proven that there were real signs of penetration, that
right.
they may not even be able to bring up charges on him. So it's a very complicated
Right. So let
situation.
me add this right
Um,
here. So because I
mhm,
interviewed someone as well, and from what I gathered in the interview, that once you take the child in, if there are not clear signs of penetration, or if his DNA is not found, like if his seminal fluid is not found in the area or on the child,
mhm,
then they have to then do an investigation in which they bring in child psychologists, forensic child psychologists, to interview the
mhm,
children, to then gather what is fact or fiction from the children. And so that could be
mhm.
the stage that we're in now, but we
Right,
we we don't know. We don't know.
right. Right. There's a lot. There's just a lot of moving pieces that are currently being moved, and it's just too soon to really make a judgment call right now. And I know this is social media, and people want information like now, on demand, because she came out and she told her story. But in the real world, things like this take time. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a while before we get any real answers about this. And I think it's just best that we kind of stay neutral, because, again, my whole stance is, I mean, the niece could be telling the truth about the son, but then she could be lying, or ISIS
But
could be
hold
telling
on,
the truth regarding
or
the
she could be
father.
lying. Hold on, let's talk about this niece real quick. If the niece was not
Hmm.
living in the home, if ISIS is saying she's never even physically met this niece, right? Then
Hmm.
if it's not like the niece was inside the house looking in the hallway, looking at the bedroom door to see who was going in and out of the children's room, how can the niece assert what her uncle did or didn't do?
Well, from an unbiased standpoint, ISIS could be lying. I mean, she's known for lying. Like, she could say that she doesn't know that woman, but know her.
Mm,
So that's one point. But then another point is, what if she's telling the truth? So if it's really about the kids, I'm just going to be neutral, because what if ISIS is protecting her son and not really getting him the help and protecting her daughters in the way that she truly needs to? And then what if it's the other way around, and the niece is trying to protect her uncle, and he's in court right now fighting for custody of those girls? Either way, it's just best to just be neutral in the situation, because, again, we don't know these people. We can't just go off the strength of what these people are saying, especially when these people were introduced under these circumstances. And then ISIS has been lying on social media for a while because
Yeah.
the DV situation happened last year in November of 2023, and she said nothing of that, but was making content like her relationship and her marriage is just the standard, and it's what every woman should achieve to have, and women need to do this and do that. So it's like, because we don't know these people, and it's very clear that they don't have integrity, the best thing to do is just be neutral in the situation until more information comes out. Because at the end of the day, the only ones that are going to suffer are the children. And one thing that I will say is, based off of both of these women, though, something happened to those girls. That's what I do know. Something happened to those girls clearly, because these two women are saying something happened to those girls. So I think we should just stay focused on that and not all of this extra stuff, because we're losing the plot. The plot is something happened to these girls, and either it's a son that needs to be held accountable or it's a father that needs to be held accountable. But someone needs to be held accountable, and it's the people that violated the girls. And that's what I'm focused on. I'm not really focused on all of this extra stuff, because we're just losing focus on what truly matters, and it's the two girls.
Yeah, absolutely. So last question for you before you jump off the line. In terms of her content, because I never watched her content. Someone in the comments said that you have not been reporting neutrally. So I don't know, because I've only saw that one video of yours. But when it comes to ISIS's content, what do you think there is in terms of what was it about her demeanor that is angering women so as to almost take glee in her fall from grace?
I think it's just her overall persona. Like, the shallowness is probably the biggest thing for a lot of women that is uncomfortable for them. And then probably just the fact that she worships a man, I mean, that's pretty huge. I think it's those two things, the shallowness and her worshiping a man, is probably what is triggering them the most. And then because those are the two things that she promoted on her platform, and then she comes out and she says that her two girls were violated by that same man. So that is what is triggering women. And I completely understand why, and I understand why they feel the way that they feel. And I feel like it's a valid feeling. I don't feel like it's invalid at all.
You know what? Hold on. I just had an epiphany. Something just came to me. So ISIS's content was male worshiping, right?
Yes.
So the women who were watching this content were watching a male worshiper, and they themselves may have some male worship inside of them. So when ISIS comes out, when ISIS comes out against this man that she was worshiping, there could be a twofold problem. Number one, and you know what, this all makes so much damn sense now. Oh my goodness, Yanni, I'm so glad you called in, because this makes so much effing sense. I didn't put that piece together. The male worship on both sides. So ISIS was worshiping a man. Her viewers are worshiping a man, and they're worshiping men and worshiping this idea of black love and these relationships and having this provider man who's going to do all of this and be all of these amazing things. Meanwhile, ISIS was perhaps being a mean girl in public. So she's putting on this mean girl persona, like, you could have all of this too if only you water fast, or you do this or you do that, right? And then on the flip side, something happens, and then she says, well, you know what? This man was harming me and harming my children. So now there's a twofold assault. So now the male worshipers who were worshiping her relationship and wanting to have a man that they could worship like she did, they're seeing her and they're like, oh, you've lied to us. You were living a lie. So all of that mean girl stuff, all of that, it was a fraud. Not only that, now you've turned on a man because you may be a fraud in everything, and now you're turning on a black man whom we worship. So now this could be part of the reason that they are doubly angry, because not only was their idoless, a fraud, but then now she's exposing a black man whom they worship.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna put this on record. I'm neutral when it comes to this situation. If people were confused on that, I am neutral when it comes to the situation. And yes, this provider thing has women in a chokehold to still not want to give up the male worship. It's what really has a lot of women in a chokehold, and they don't want to give that up. And I mean, ultimately, it's their choice. It's their choice. It's their choice, honestly. I'm not here to persuade women on what they need to do. I think it's a matter of spiritual development and coming to that realization on your own. And when that time comes, it will come. And I hope that you're open to receiving it. But outside of that, I'm not really here to tell women what to really do. I think it's a matter of their own spiritual walk, and they'll find themselves and they'll figure it out along the way. And we're just here to drop nuggets, gems, whatever breadcrumbs that they need to come to that realization within themselves. That's really it.
Okay. Well, you know what? I appreciate that. And I'm glad you called in, and I can definitely tell just from your openness to even talk about shadow work and your awareness to be like, well, you know, I heard her talking about this water fast, and here I am on a fitness or weight loss journey, and she's saying this so cavalierly, like, oh, it's just as easy as just starving yourself on water, and realizing that emanates from inside of you. Like any feeling that we have towards another person, it begins first of all inside of us. So I can tell that you've been doing the work, girl. I can tell.
Thank you. Thank you. That's so sweet.
All right. Well, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, remember the good old days when we used to do panels and stuff like that? It is time for us to stand up and have a break. We've been sitting down for a really long time. And it is our time that we get up and do a little bit of movement. The last song we listened to inspired us to laugh. Let me see what this next here we go. Let's see what we have here. Let's see what this is. I'm really not in the mood for more of this pop music. I really am not. Let's see. This says it's house music. Hold on. Let's hear some of this house music and see what they calling house music. Oh my gracious. I can't do this right now. Did we listen to this the other day? I cannot listen to any more of these squeaky voices. I cannot. I'm gonna have to go back to my old faithfuls. I'm gonna go back to my old faithfuls, and let's see what we have here. Let's see, digital. All right, here, get up out your seats, everybody. Get up out your seat. Oh my goodness.
Hey. None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold.
Hey, none of my
None of my cash can fold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash and gold. Cash digital, dash digital, go, go, go. Digital, cash digital, dash digital, run it up. Digital, stepping like Marty McFly, stepping I feel like the guy. I got them looking like why, I never doubted me why, I never doubted my guys. You know you win it for win, I stand on 10 on 10. I don't have friends of a friend, only the fan I can. Only my wife and my kids, that's all I needed to win. Now I only trust my true friends, had to cut off my loose ends. You know I win if you win, you know you win if I win. I swipe that cash, don't fold, I swipe my bank on gold. Don't think that I've been dumb, I spend like I've been broke. None of my cash is gold, none of my cars are gold. Cash on hold. None of my cash is gold, none of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Digital dash, digital, go, go, go. Digital. Cash digital. Run it up.
Oh gosh, this is so funny.
Digital.
This is so funny.
Truth, no tricks. I'm just trying to feed my kids. I'm just trying to keep my wife. I'm just trying to live my life while we get rich. Mind my business. Money gon' come, some go. Man, if you know, you know. I've been through highs and lows. Here for the ride, I go. Slide and roll. Down when I get up. The numbers crunching, no sit-ups. I grew up and got dripped up. Purple label my get up. That's 101, not a one and done. Month to month, and there's more to come. I told Cushy, let's run it up. Now it's millions, I'm millions.
Hey, millions of millions. Hey, hey,
Yeah, none of my cash is full. None of my cars are gold. Digital cash on hold.
hey.
None of my cash is full. None of my cars are gold. Digital dash on gold. Cash is digital. The dash is digital. Go, go, go. Digital. Cash is digital. Dash is digital. Digital.
Oh, that went by too quick. If you participated in that, you got in, what is that, 3 minutes? Oh, I can't find the song anymore. Oh, here it is. You got in 3 minutes of movement. All right. So, I'm going to open back up the phone lines. Let me turn back on the timer. I see we got some web celebs in the house. I'm hearing B. Taylor's in the chat. Cynthia G's in the chat. Come on. You know what? Remember the days when we used to do panels? Come on. You could call in, ladies. I want to hear people's point of view. We only had one man call in, and then he ended up getting cursed out. He couldn't even get through his name without, I don't know what it is with some of these male callers. I don't know what it is. Like, that didn't have to go that way. Why couldn't a man just say his name? I don't know what it is, honestly. Men nowadays are bugging, like, and they don't see nothing the matter with the way that they're going on. We got we got the phone number on the screen over here, 323-488-3149. Oh, we got a call coming in right now. You're on the air live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Destiny. I'm calling from Virginia.
Hey, Destiny. Did we talk the other day?
Yeah, I did. That was me.
All right. Well, welcome back on the line, Destiny. So what's your comment today?
I think the only thing that I can see wrong in like her part is just not having healthy boundaries within herself. I think that she struggled with self-awareness, and I think that that influenced her.
Yeah,
not
so
being
hold
able
on.
to
So
structure.
hold on. Destiny, I want you to make this relevant to yourself, please, because we know that she most likely had low self-esteem, low boundaries. We know. So there's either two things that you can do on the line here. One, you can really make it about yourself, and you can say what you have learned about your own boundaries, about implementing them, about intuition, whatever the case may be, if you can make it personal. Or number two, if you can tell me at what point will you feel that she has been held accountable enough. Those are the only two things, please.
Well, what I was saying is, well, it could be relatable to myself. I've dealt with, struggle with creating healthy boundaries and everything. So from personal experience, it comes from just lack of just self-awareness and dignity and all those things. But what I will say is that it also helps you to recognize those red flags. Personally, me speaking, it was difficult for me to see the red flags in other people because I couldn't even, see the red flags in myself. And I had to realize that the brokenness in me is what attracted me to other broken individuals. And so I feel like when you do the shadow work and you do the, necessary work to, work on your traumas and, work on yourself and your imperfections and all those things, it will help strengthen, being able to recognize red flags. I'm not saying that you still won't run into bad people. It just builds up the courage and the dignity to be able to recognize them and be comfortable with walking away. What I realize is that when we stay in broken situations and we know there's broken situations, is usually there's some type of brokenness in us that
Okay. So
keeps us so willingly
have you
to be
healed
there.
your brokenness?
I wouldn't say I'm healed. I'm still healing. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm healed. I'm still going through my own personal
Okay.
journey. But and another thing is, I hate that the most of the blame is put onto her because even if she was healed and did act accordingly and do all the things that people are saying that she should have done, it still doesn't negate the fact that a person like him still exists because he didn't just get with her and become a predator. If what these allegations she's saying is true, he didn't just get with her and become a predator. He was already one. And so I hear a lot of times men say, well, especially in the manosphere, they say, well, you should choose better. You choose better. We could choose better, but it still doesn't negate the fact that there are predators and monsters that still exist. What about them? Who's telling them to be better?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And so I feel like no matter what a woman does, if she would have left and whatever, I feel like it's always going to be on the women. Because who's out here telling the predators and the people committing these acts of sexual violence and violence against children in the Black community, who's out here telling them, that they need to be better, that they need to work on them? So who's out here being the advocate for that? So
Yeah.
that's just what I want to say. I feel like no matter what, the women are always going to get blamed.
Yeah. Well,
And
thank
that's
you
just a
so
sad
much
reality.
for calling and giving your point of view. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. So somebody in the comments said, are we ever really healed? Isn't healing a lifelong journey? And that was a trick question because I actually had somebody who wrote me and was talking about how she was healed and how ISIS had done all this, that, and the other wrong, et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, oh my gracious, it was just too much. I tried to tell the person, but they didn't want to. And I was like, go, journey on, right? And so there's this saying that it was written by an old philosopher that says, believe the person who says they're searching for the truth. Be skeptical of the person who says they found it. Healing is a lifelong journey. This is what I'm saying. While we sitting up here talking about what she could have done differently, we don't realize that that is an expression of our own brokenness, looking at somebody else and what they should have done. If you can't take a person's situation and have the empathy, the self-awareness enough to be able to turn it around and see how it relates to you, that's your own brokenness right there. You're asking something of somebody else that you can't even give. You can't see your own brokenness. Phone lines are open, 323-488-3149. There were a lot of people who were calling in, but I can't tell who. You're on your live with Tonya. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, Tonya. My name is Michelle. I'm calling from Houston.
Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the line.
So, it's so many things I want to say, but I'm going to try to keep it short because I know it's a lot of people who are behind me. But I want to talk about how most people don't understand red flags because they have grew up in dysfunction. So it's a level of normalcy for them, and it's not like a red flag for them when they see
That's a
certain
good
things.
point.
And so it's so easy for people to say, hey, you didn't see the red flags, you need to choose better. But what do you say about people who don't know what better is because they grew up in dysfunction? And so dysfunction becomes a level of normalcy.
Yeah.
So I went through that. I went through that growing up in dysfunction and being in relationships and not being able to recognize red flags because of, my father was an abuser to my mother and certain things I just saw as normal and didn't realize until I did the work on myself and did my therapy and things like that well, whoa, wait a minute, this was a red flag.
Yeah.
And I've been where um, the trophy wife has been with my daughter. So I dated someone who was in the church actively, was a pastor, did all of these things. And I've dated this guy. I moved him into my house with my children, and he winds up, doing what he did to my daughter, who was only, 2 years old at the time. And I didn't see anything weird or any red flags. And he was sneaking in my daughter's room in the middle of the night. It wasn't until my daughter came to me and told me that she was hurting until that's when I immediately took her to the hospital. So, perfect guy.
Yeah.
Never would think that, oh, he's getting up in the middle of the night and doing what he's doing to my child. So we have to, like, at least give a little bit of grace, because it's some things that we just can't see because there's no red flags. There's nothing there.
So hold on. And thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing that very personal detail about what happened to your daughter. So I'm glad I have you on the line because I can ask you questions
Hmm.
that I just don't know about. So when you took your daughter
Okay.
to get examined, what
Hmm.
ensued at that point?
So when I took her to get examined, they told me that she had been tampered with. They asked me all the questions about who was in the home, as far as my sons. They asked me about my ex, and an investigation ensued. No
Was
one was arrested
okay.
right away. No
Okay.
one. No, it took months for even for an arrest to happen.
Oh, this is interesting information. So when you say that they saw that she was tampered with, like they saw that she had been penetrated
Her
or
hymen, her hymen was broken.
this sicko, man, that's sick.
Yeah, she's grown now. She's an adult now, but
Was she
this
able
happened very misunderstood.
was she able to get better? Like and live a functional life?
Yes, it. She didn't even know. Like, she was 2, so when she got older, I had to sit down and have a talk with her about what happened. You know, when she was
Okay.
like about 14, we had a
Okay.
talk.
And did she get therapy and stuff like that?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, so question. You're saying in your situation that there was clear evidence of penetration on a 2-year-old
Yes.
and that it took
Yes.
months.
At least about three months
Oh,
before an investigation and anything like that before he went to jail. So yes, took 3 months.
okay. Was there a trial or did they just arrest him and he stayed in there?
So once they got all the samples and all the investigation, yes, they arrested him on spot, and then he had to go to trial
So how do they know that it was your ex instead of your son?
because they took samples. So they took DNA samples, but it took court orders to even just get the samples from him. It wasn't
Wait,
an easy process.
there was DNA found on your daughter?
Yes. Mhm.
Wow. So did you get therapy to kind of deal with all of that?
I did. I did, because I was a victim as a child. So I was already in therapy at the time. And so here I am thinking that I'm in this relationship with this Christian man who is amazing, and he's what they call a youth pastor,
Oh,
um and he's you know the ministry of music and all of these great things, and everybody is praising our relationship, you know and yeah, he was sneaking in the middle of the night to be with my daughter.
okay. And when you say that there were no red flags, even looking in hindsight, you don't see any?
The only thing that now, as it went everything went the way that it did, he would favor my daughter a lot over my son. And it would be more like, making sure that he bought her extra things like that she liked. Oh, I made sure to buy your candy that you like, or certain things like that. Oh, I bought you this pretty bow. I was thinking about you. So that sort of thing. But he would buy things for my sons too. So it
Right.
wasn't like, you know, a a huge red flag, but I would say that that would be one of them. And then another one that I saw was that, everybody has bad days, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we all have bad days, but I would never see that from him.
Mm.
Like he was always in a good mood. Like everything was always good, you know. So I never really seen like him have out of like the 2 years that we were together, because I got with him when my daughter was a baby. So I never really seen like him having bad days, and I thought that was a little odd that he didn't say, "Oh, I'm too tired today. I had a bad day." Like that never. That was a red flag to me too, because that means that he was hiding a lot of things.
Okay. So, how long after you had gotten with him did he move into your home?
A year.
A year.
So it was a whole year. Hmm.
Okay. And I'm listening to you, and what you're saying are red flags can be a person that's filled with joy. He's a youth pastor. Or it could be a
Right.
person who wants to spoil a little girl. So it's like even things as
Correct.
innocent as that are red flags, which means what can a person really look out for?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. You have to, it's so easy to say that this woman should have did this and this. Now, her situation is a little bit different from mine, because before I dated him, even what, about 5 or 6 months before we even got in a relationship, and then a whole nother year, you know. So before we even did the moving in, getting engaged type thing. So our situation is a little bit different, because I dated him when I was starting to go through a divorce.
Mm.
And so it was like, oh, I'm in church, I'm doing, whatever, and we're getting to know each other, friends type thing. So our situation is just a little bit different versus her being, after 2 weeks marrying this man. So it's a little different, but at the same token, it's hard just being in a relationship. My advice is to wait till your children get old enough to where they're 14, 15, and they can really come to you and really make sure that
Unfortunately,
you're living in another place.
unfortunately, so that is unfortunately the way groomers work. Even if the child is 14, they have even a less likely chance of telling you, because of goodness knows how this person grooms your child. You know what I mean? Because that's how
True.
grooming works. Grooming works so that, it happens so slowly. I wish that they had documentaries to help us see the signs of grooming so that we could see. But from
Right.
what it is so I was in my school, they I don't know how many of you are keeping up with my weekly updates from my grad program, but one of the days the professor showed us this film that was really horrifying. It was graphic, just sexual content with child molestation as the theme. And the way the guy did it was, he was a baseball coach, so these people make sure that they are, I hear feedback coming through your phone. So these people make sure that they have access to children, and they like to play video games or games with kids, or take them out or hang out with them. With the way that it is, you couldn't even have a teenager and have this guy go on any daddy daughter days with your child, because that could be grooming right there. It's like, I don't know what the solution is for women, because these people out there, these groomers, these abusers, they have so many tricks up their
Hmm.
sleeves.
Yeah, like it's just hard. Period. Like when we talk about that, we live in a patriarchal society. You know, like it's more men who are predators than we think.
Mm.
And a lot of times it's because how they were raised. Like I literally saw my father in his 40s dating an 18-year-old woman and thinking that it's okay because she's 18, you know, and you're 41, 42. And it's just how a lot of times how we are raising our young boys and we're not raising them in the same way or the same manner that we are raising our young girls. And we teach young women to settle a lot, to especially young melanated women, to settle and to be okay with less than we do for our sons. We teach our sons that, oh, you know, reach for the stars, never settle, and all of these things like that. But
How does that
then we
relate to
don't even
abuse?
give them, hmm?
How does that relate to abuse?
So for me, I don't teach my children that.
To
You
reach
know,
for the
I have a
stars?
son. So I've raised my son and my daughter the exact same way. That your body is a temple.
Right. We're talking about reaching
That
for the stars. You were saying that we raise boys to reach for the stars, and I want to know, how does that relate to abuse?
to abuse. Okay, yeah. So I just feel like when we say we raise our sons to reach for the stars, but not our women, because they can think in their minds that they're the best thing since milk,
How does that
and
relate
that
to
the
abuse? I want to get to a point, and I'm trying to get you
mhm.
to answer the question, because I want to just speak what the data shows. But I want to know, how is telling
Okay,
boys to reach for the stars related to abuse?
to abuse. Mm.
It's not really. Let me just tell you what the data shows. The data shows that men who abuse, men who decide to sexually assault, that has nothing to do with the way that they were raised. It has nothing to do
Mm.
with the parents instilling. It's the society that we're in, where men are taught that anything you want that you could get, that is owed to you, that girls and women are here at your disposal, that you could do whatever the hell you want to do. By the time your child is 11, 12 years old, their peer group has more influence on them than you do. So
True.
the data shows Judith Herman wrote a book called Father Daughter Incest. I haven't read the book yet, but I read an excerpt for the book from an article with her and a woman named Caruth, right? So in this piece, the author was asked about whether or not abused men abuse girls. Why do fathers turn towards incest? And it's really an extension of the patriarchy. It's an extension of exerting your will on another person, regardless of what it is that they want. It's an extension of pushing your agenda, your hurt, your pain, harming other people, and that being an extension of these patriarchal systems that we live in, and that is the point. Taking away a woman's voice is the point. That they have grown up in
Mm.
societies. The very first quote that I read was from Pythagoras. I'll read it again for the people who have come in late. Give me just one moment. Let me get my device up and running. All right.
Now that makes sense.
In the book The Second Sex by Simone de Beauvoir, the quote goes, there is a good principle. Let me start that again. There is a good principle that created order, light, and man, and a bad principle that created chaos, darkness, and woman. This is by Pythagoras. This was a Greek philosopher that came up with the Pythagorean theorem. And then the second quote goes, everything that has been written by men about women should be viewed with suspicion. because they are both judge and party. I want us to understand that this hatred of women, this hatred of women's bodies, this belief that women and girls are here to serve men, that their bodies are here for men's disposal. This is why there's so many men who are titillated by that whole your body, my choice, especially these people who are the descendants of fucking Neanderthals. I said it, and you know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about. These people who are the descendants of Neanderthals, they come with some other things attached to their DNA that just just got bad spirit on it, right? And so this is why they're so titillated by the idea of your body, my choice, because a lot of these men have fantasies of destruction. They have fantasies of destroying your worth, destroying your will, destroying your boundaries. Many of these men, they just have this drive in them to annihilate. And they don't care who gets in their way. That they will do whatever the hell it is that they feel like doing. You know what, as a matter of fact, let me see if I can find the notes from this piece. Oh, I don't think I was writing. Oh, let me see if I can, because this was like the second week of class we had this, and I took notes on it. You can talk while I'm looking this up. Go ahead.
No, that makes a lot of sense because I've tried to wrap my mind around, what has happened to me and my daughter. And it just makes a lot of sense to me that it would be more so is because they feel as if they can.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that conquer thing. Like, if I want it, I can get it.
Yeah. So
type of mentalities.
I have the article here. Oh, you know what? I was using a different reader, so this one doesn't have the notes in it. Hold on. Let me search for. Damn it. Trauma and shame. Let's see. Shame sheds more light on interpersonal components. Let's see. It's interesting that this interpersonal dimension of traumatic experience perpetuates itself as the anxiety response, but in a different mechanism. Oh my goodness. I wish I could find it, but because I don't want to misquote, but that was the general principle that I can remember. Go from consciousness to raising group, which is a therapeutic function. I was not in a therapy group. There's a saying that batters women movement is a good beating for the next year. And you'll hear women saying things like, I saw the expression of his face and I saw that he could really kill me. That evokes the image of people, totalitarian societies, the dialectic of trauma. We're talking about a lot of secrecy. Oh, the stance on solidarity becomes really clear with the political asylum. Damn it. I really wish that I could find the piece because it was basically just talking about how these men, they abuse because they want to. They abuse because it is an extension of the societal thinking that girls are here at their disposal. For anybody who wants to read this article, it's an article. I'll go to the beginning and tell you what it is so you can look it up yourself. It's The Politics of Trauma, a conversation with Judith Herman. So this is by Judith Herman and Caruth. So you can look that up. It's called The Politics of Trauma. All right. You can look that up. If you look on PubMed or some of these other Google Scholar, you can find a lot of these articles and papers for free. Okay, here. You know what? Here, let me read this. I just found something. Okay. All right. I would like to begin with a remark that I heard you make many years ago at a lecture in Bridgeport, Connecticut. You had been speaking about father-daughter incest, and after the lecture, a man in the audience asked, aren't most of the cases of incest perpetrated by men who were battered or abused when they were children? And you answered, not only a very small percent, no, she answered no. Only a very small percentage of men who commit incest were abused as children. The quote unquote cycle of violence explanation is appealing because it gives us the illusion that we understand the perpetrators. But in fact, most victims do not become perpetrators, and most perpetrators were not victims as children. If the quote unquote cycle of violence theory were correct, we would see mostly female perpetrators, which we do not. Incest is far more widespread phenomenon in our society than can be accounted for by the idea of the quote unquote cycle of violence. And thus, we need a larger social explanation for this phenomenon. And then she goes on to say, I was really struck by this comment, which suggests that we cannot understand incest in terms of psychology and the individual, but rather turn to the broader social factors. In the 2000s, afterwards to your book, Father Daughter Incest, you reiterate this point from your lecture. Quote unquote, no one has been able to come up with a psychological profile that might identify incest offenders because they look normal. I need everybody to rewind that and listen to that again. They look normal. Okay? Careful psychiatric evaluations fail to uncover signs of mental illness. Indeed, the majority do not qualify for any psychiatric diagnosis, right? And then she goes on to say that this is a remarkable statement. And she says, this is not just my opinion, it's what the data show. There are actually some reasonably good studies of S offenders in general and of incest perpetrators in particular. One that I have cited often was conducted in the 1980s at New York State Psychiatric Institute by Gene Abel. That's Geneabel. If you ever want to look up any of these papers or the research, please do, because it's out there. I'm in school and there's a lot that I have to read, so you can read up too and you can learn some of the things that I'm learning. I'm posting this in my weekly updates. So if you would like to see that, you can go to my website, tonyatko.com, and just click on blog, because I'm putting weekly updates of the readings that I'm doing and the things that I'm learning in class. All right, so she goes on to say that the Institute by Gene Abel, a psychiatrist who is now in private practice in Atlanta, Georgia, and Judith Becker, a psychologist who is now at the University of Arizona. They studied sex offenders whom they identified by word of mouth and through various sex rings networks and advertisements. They provided enormous confidentiality protection for the subjects, and under those circumstances, the men were actually quite eager to talk about what they did because they felt so misunderstood. These men were subjected to extensive SCID, structured clinical interview for DSM disorders, interviews for diagnosis of major mental illness, and also for character disorders. These men, you know what, I can put this up on the screen if you all, you know what, it's not connected. I'm going to connect it next time so that I could show this thing on the screen. Admin, can you remind me that I need to connect my reading tablet to the broadcast? Can you remind me about that? Thank you. Okay, so here, sex ring network. These men were subjected to these tests, right? Interviews for major mental illness and also for character disorders. These men were then shown pornography with what is colloquially called a Peter meter, which measures blood flow to the penis. After the Peter meter, the men tended to cop to quite a bit more of what they had actually done. So a Peter meter is something that measures blood flow to the penis. It's a device that people put on men to find out when they're aroused, right? Or when they're becoming aroused. Because men, the signals of them becoming aroused is a lot more instantaneous than that of women, right? So nonetheless, one of the things that the study found was that there wasn't such a clean dividing line between one kind of offender and another. Incest offenders were also rapists. Pedophiles would also at times expose themselves, etc. But the study also found that according to the SCID diagnosis criteria, over 50% of the men did not qualify for any psychiatric diagnosis. This includes alcoholism, which is a frequent quote unquote excuse for child abuse. So for over half of the men, there was no alcoholism, certainly no psychosis, no character disorders, even. whatsoever. The pathology is we don't have good information that helps to identify it. This is similar to what happens in the aftermath of the Holocaust when psychiatric exams were done on the Nazi criminals, the war criminals, and lo and behold, they didn't qualify for psychiatric diagnosis either, much to everyone's shock and horror. The article or the piece goes on and on and on, and it talks about the victims of incest grow up to become archetypal, various supports, socioeconomic. So the bottom line is, in this article, it talks about how these men are doing this because they want to, because it's an extension of patriarchal thinking where they feel that women are at their disposal, for disposal, that they can enact their will onto other people, and that forcing the daughters to keep the secret is part of the kink because it removes her voice from her. And this is just another extension of abuse. And you heard her say that this abuse crosses many different genres, that these men have deviance and deviance that exists inside of them that shows up in many different ways. So it's like, do you all hear what I'm saying? If you hear what I'm saying, go ahead and put up the 5, raise your hand. What can we do?
What do you do in this case? You know, do you just focus on yourself at this point? You know?
You know, the sad part about it is that, like she said, many of these men seem very normal. They don't have diagnoses. One of the things that I'm hoping to do is to bring awareness to the flaws in our patriarchal thinking, because when we can topple the patriarchies that are teaching and embedding. So number one, while we are worshiping a male god in a book that talks about the evilness of women, I don't really know how far we can move from, I don't know how far we can move from our thinking, because this whole system has to be redone. We have to go back into the books that we are worshiping, because these books have besmirched women's name and honor. Because if anybody knows who has the more lack of control, women or men, we know that it's men who fall further into temptation than women do. However, the book is positing that it was Eve who just couldn't resist the apple. These old philosophers talk about how women were evil, how women are bad, and the badness was inbred inside women. We're gonna have to topple this whole system.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you see the comments where a lot of women are even bashing, you know, this woman for even coming out with her, you know, story, whether we know it's true or not, because we were not there, so we don't know. But it's just like the patriarchy mindset has been ingrained in a lot of women too.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's like we have to kind of deprogram ourselves in that manner as well. It took me a long time to get to the point where I'm just like, you know, let me just focus on me and do all the things that I like to do that makes me happy. Because we have like this whole Disney thing that they taught us, like, you know, your knight in shining armor and get a family and have children. And this is the, you know, ultimate goal. And this was something that I grew up with as well. And so we're not really teaching just people, especially women, the value that they have too, that they hold too, that you too are a powerful person. You too can follow your dreams, and you too can do what's right for you. It took me a while to get out of the people pleasing and submission mindset to where I always have to do what everybody else wants me to do. It took me a while to get out of that.
Well, you know what?
This is how I was raised.
I need to interject right here, because when you say you too can follow your dreams, you too can have power, you too, You two compared to who? Who are we talking about?
Compared to men, because
Exactly.
this is how
Hold on. Hold that thought right there. Because if we're going to talk about decentering men, if we're going to remove men, so what you're saying is still tethered to men. You too, in comparison to men. Let's just take men out of that equation altogether, because if we're going to teach girls, we're not teaching girls to be quote unquote equal to man, because man can never be equal to woman. We hold two very different spaces in life. We nurture, create, and hold life in our wombs. The male
Right.
of any species could never compare to that of the female of the species. They just cannot. And
Correct.
so we tether our existence, even so much so that when we are looking to uplift girls, it is tethered to the behaviors of men. There's so many women out there who are looking to behave like man. Man is not the ultimate for how you need to behave. He's not. And if you,
I agree.
so I appreciate that. So listen, I'm going to let you go because I see that the timer is ticking down for us to get up for our dance break, which means we've been on the phone for 30 minutes, child. And now it's time to
Okay.
dance again. Are you doing
Well,
your
thank
dance
you
breaks
so
with
much.
me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. All right. So I appreciate you calling in. People appreciated your perspective, and it led us down a route that we needed to read and pay attention to. So thank you so much. You have a great day.
Thank you. You
All
too.
right then.
Bye.
All right. Let's see what we have here. I'm really kind of a little tired now, so we're going to be ending the broadcast soon, but we have to get ready for our I like this. It reminds me of the Monster Mash for some reason. So get up out your seat. Come on, let's do our dance. This is only a 2-minute song, so you got 2 minutes in you for me. So come on, bring that 2 minutes. Come on. I can't take off my shoes so I can move these feet. Hey. That was fun. All right. Let's check our Apple. All right. Okay, so Trishelle sends in $6 and says, thank you for today's discussion. All right, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so I want you all to start coming up with your self-love lessons because we're going to be exiting the broadcast. If you didn't get a chance to call in, it may not have been meant to be for this broadcast. And you just have to try again on the next broadcast. You can come onto the text notification squad to get a text whenever we go live so that you're always here on time, so that when I do open up the phone lines, you can be in the building. All right? I appreciate you all coming out. My self-love lesson from today's discussion. I gotta think about mine. I hope you all have thought about yours. So all you gotta do is type SLL for self-love lesson and then comment your self-love lesson down below. And so she said her ring cost $20,000. Chanel isn't cheap. You just gotta know. Plus YouTube makes people bunch of money, and for millions of views they get paid what most people would only dream of. Well, I wouldn't know about that because my videos are not getting millions of views. I wouldn't know about that. I would not know about all of that. I would not know. I hear that there are some people who are making good money on YouTube. The most money I made was on Facebook. I've never had a big month on YouTube ever. In all my years on YouTube, I just never had a big month here. Someone is saying you're not being realistic. Single women are targets all over the world. Let's get to the self-love lesson. There's some people who are behind in the broadcast. Type SLL and then type your I'm giving myself and other women grace. That's beautiful. Let's see some more of these self-love lessons. We did have fun with that song. That was nice. It's just so silly. You're welcome for the dialogue, SON. So yeah, 90% of sexual assaults and rapes, a very high number, most of them never get reported. Of those that do get reported, only a small percentage of them are not true, but the vast majority of them are true. And so Nicole says, oh, you just wait, money coming to you easily. Well, you know what? Money comes to me easily. It just hasn't come on YouTube. And I'm open to it coming on YouTube, but money does come to me easily. I am very abundant. Money flows to me with ease. I'm a money magnet. It loves me. And I love money. So we are good bedfellows. Self-love lesson. I want to see self-love lessons that are talking about what you do want. So we're gonna post it from the positive affirmative. We're not gonna use words like not, don't, or never. You know what? I don't get a little good check. Like some of my months on YouTube are a few $100s. I'm not. This is what I'm saying. I'm not expecting much from YouTube. Like sometimes I'll make like $2,000 on YouTube for the month, but I'm not making big money like these other YouTubers. I'm not. That's the goodness to honest truth right there. Like sometimes I'll make a few hundred. So, like the vast majority of times, it's only a few hundred. It's less than $1,000, a few hundred. Anywhere from $200 to $600 a month is the average for me on YouTube. It's not like I do YouTube to be able to share information with people. I'm glad that I have not been corrupted by the money, so that I'm starting to say a whole bunch of dumbass shit, you know, lying for the money. That's not in my personality anyway, but I'm just not making money like that on YouTube. Like Facebook was hitting on something before. Like during the pandemic, I was making good money on Facebook, but then Zuckerberg changed. This is what I'm saying. This is why I left X. Like these people are taking our content and they're profiting from it, but they're not passing that on. They're not passing that down. So I don't know who else makes YouTube videos out there, because there's other content creators. They say they doing all the same. Look at my videos. My videos got 1,000 views here. Like if I'm not talking about a viral topic, my videos will get 1,000 views. Ain't no payment on those. There's no payment. SLL, I am love. YouTube is what it is. Like right now, there's over 500 people on here. My Facebook page has 1 million subscribers, but there's only 25 people on the Facebook page. So it's like these platforms, they're not our friends. Like we have to realize what this is, like what the game is out here. And the game is not really in our favor. This is why I use YouTube. So I use YouTube. This is why I've been talking about my event, because when I post up about my event without the viral topic, these platforms don't publicize my event. But if I want to talk about something, you know, juicy or, you know, controversial, they'll push that. But I don't have no allegiance or love for none of these platforms. I really don't. Somebody's saying, wow, listen, I could show you my thing. It's against the terms of service for us to show what it is that we are making, but I'm telling you. And if there's anybody who want to see out, because there's so many people's like, oh, I want to quit my job and become a full-time YouTuber. I'm like, okay, listen, it could be because my channel is old, because my small channel makes about as much as this channel. The small channel with 50,000, so I don't know if it's because this channel was old. I honestly don't know. I don't know. All right, SLL. Learning what takes me out of my comfort zone. I'm seeing the word out, so let's talk about what takes you in your comfort zone. Finding things that make you feel safe. Yes. Okay, I'm realizing more and more that sisterhood is needed. Yes, absolutely. That's part of the reason that I'm doing this event. And the ladies, we are talking behind the scenes. It's a good, wonderful time, and we're meeting up tomorrow. I have one more ticket left, but I'm probably going to end up closing up the sales with that one ticket left, because apparently that ticket belongs to somebody. And the universe, I don't know. I don't know. I am worthy of love, respect, and protection. I pour into myself and those that pour into me. I build community. Beautiful. I love that. I am my sister's keeper. I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. All right. So let me go ahead and learning that judging. So we're talking about what you do not want. Let's talk about what you do want. So we're going to speak from the positive affirmative. So when you start using words like judging, hardship, can't, let's talk about what you do want. Let's focus on what you do want. And so Nadia is saying lots of fathers get reports of their children getting molested by baby mamas, live in PDF, can't trust these chicks with children. Yeah, you know what? You sound like a fucking pedophile your goddamn self. Let me turn off this music, because I need people to understand, when you see somebody making excuses for pedophiles and pedophilia and saying that you can't trust the women versus the vast number of cases of men out here who are incestuous predators, and your takeaway is that because less than 5% of the people come out with false claims that you can't trust the women, but none of your focus is on the men, you sound like a predator yourself. You sound like a predator. Just pay attention. This person is a fake. Here, you see, this person is a fake. Here, let me help you out, motherfucker. When you see these fools coming out, what do you tell them? No, no. Hey, you tell them no, because they ain't welcome here with their foolishness. You get away. Hey, get away from me. Get out of here. Tell her, get out. No, get away. Tell them, all right. I see the word non in your statement, period. So take the word non out and talk about what you do want. All right. All right. Okay, I need to come up with my self-love lesson. Tell them what? Hey, hey, hey. No. Tell them, get out of here with your foolishness. All right. So let me think, what is my self-love lesson from today's show? So listen, go out there and love one another. Most importantly, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is part of me loving myself is realizing that this self-healing is a continuous journey. It's like an onion peeling back the layers, and that it is necessary for me to continue to do my shadow work, necessary for me to look at myself, especially when a qualified, trained person tells me, hold up, look at yourself. I need to hold up, especially if I respect that person, hold up and look at myself. That is my self-love lesson, because one of our first callers, she just couldn't see herself. And I want to keep my eyes open when it comes to myself in ways that I can improve, because it only improves my life. You know, we could think that by ignoring our shadow work and focusing on what other people have done wrong, that our lives get better, but your life only gets better when you roll up your sleeves and do the work. All right? And we do need to go back to goddess worshiping, because we are in a funky state right now. So listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming out. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all being a part of today's broadcast. All right, come on, listen. You know I love me this song right here. Hey! Oh! 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 Hey! Hey! Boom! 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 I will see you all in the next video. All right? Hey! 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 I'll see you all later. Somebody said throw it. You don't know nothing about that. Here, let me throw it in the circle for you. Hey! Hey! Woo! Woo! All right.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma.
Oh wait, I'm still live? Oh my goodness, I was about to start dancing to some more music. I did not realize I was still live.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And this a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it.
See you all later.
For the biggest, that's a